The Porsche story. From a small workshop to a global symbol of engineering perfection. In the world of automobiles, few names pulse with legend like Porsche. Just hearing it conjures visions of sculpted curves, precision engineering, and a driving experience that feels almost spiritual. But behind the badge, behind the roar of engines and the glow of dashboard lights, lies one of the most dramatic and determined journeys in automotive history. This is the story of how Porsche rose from a modest workshop in war-torn Europe to become one of the most influential performance brands on Earth. The Spark. Ferdinand Porsche's vision, 1875 to 1931. The story of Porsche doesn't begin with a company. It begins with a dream. Ferdinand Porsche, born in 1875, in what is now the Czech Republic, was not a wealthy heir or a business prodigy. He was a self-taught mechanical genius. By adulthood, he was designing electric vehicles for a carriage company, and soon caught the eye of major automakers of the time. In 1900, he engineered something that was unbelievable at the time. The world's first hybrid car, the loaner Porsche Semper Vivus. A gasoline engine charged batteries, which powered electric wheel motors. The idea was so ahead of its time that the world simply didn't know what to do with it. Ferdinand Porsche was a man out of sync with his century. But the world would eventually catch up. In the 1920s, he became chief engineer at Daimler, and later created iconic race cars for Auto Union. His talent was unquestioned, but he longed to build something of his own. In 1931, that moment finally arrived. Ferdinand opened Dr. Ing HCF Porsche GmbH in Stuttgart, Germany. Not a giant factory, not a glamorous production line. The people's car and the birth of a legend. 1931 to 1948. Ferdinand Porsche believed everyone, not just the rich, deserved a good car. He sketched ideas for a small, reliable, affordable model for ordinary families. That concept eventually caught the attention of the German government, and he was tasked with designing the Volkswagen Beetle, a car that would become one of the most iconic vehicles in human history. But history is complicated. War overshadowed innovation. During World War II, Porsche's company was pulled into military engineering. When the conflict ended, Ferdinand was imprisoned by French authorities. The company nearly died before it even had a chance to begin. Then came the turning point. While his father was imprisoned, Ferry Porsche, Ferdinand's son, took control. Ferry was frustrated. In 1948, the world met the Porsche 356. Light, nimble, elegant, and unlike anything else on the road. It wasn't built in a massive facility. It wasn't polished by corporate committees. It was handcrafted in an old sawmill in the Austrian Alps. And yet, the 356 was a masterpiece. This was the true birth of Porsche. Not the factory, not the name, but the idea that a car could be more than transportation. It could be emotion on wheels. 3. Racing. The crucible of greatness. 1950s to 1960s. From the beginning, the Porsche family understood one thing. Racing makes a car company stronger. Lightweight designs developed for competition shaped the entire Porsche philosophy. The 356 quickly earned a reputation in motorsports circuits across Europe with a rear engine, a silhouette unlike anything else, and a screaming flat-six motor. The 911 became the soul of Porsche. It was controversial. It was daring. It was perfect. Racers loved it. Enthusiasts worshipped it. Other automakers feared it. The 1960s and 70s saw Porsche conquer the racing world. Targa Florio, Daytona 24 Hours, Le Mans 24 Hours, Rally Championships. Then came a monster, the Porsche 917. A car so powerful, so fast, so dangerous that drivers were scared to sit in it. But once refined, it became a legend, winning Le Mans in 1970 and launching Porsche into the highest echelon of motorsport. Porsche wasn't just building cars, it was building mythology. 4. Crisis, reinvention, and the unlikely heroes. 1970s, 1990s. Despite racing glory, Porsche faced financial turbulence through the 1970s and 80s. The Porsche began developing front-engine models like the 924, 944, and 928. Cars intended to replace the 911. They were good machines, ahead of their time, and they sold well. But something strange happened. People refused to let the 911 die. It had become more than a car. It was a living symbol. In the late 1980s, Porsche revived the 911 with new engineering, better performance, and modern styling. The world welcomed it back with open arms. But Porsche still struggled. By the early 1990s, the company was on the brink of bankruptcy. Sales were collapsing. Production was inefficient. The lineup was aging. Then came one of the greatest turnarounds in business history. V, the savior, the Porsche 986 Boxster, and new strategy, 1990s. In 1994, Porsche hired Wendelin Wiedeking, a tough, visionary. He approved the development of a new entry-level sports car, the Porsche Boxster. Inspired by classic Porsche design, the Boxster was affordable, beautiful, and thrilling to drive. It exploded in popularity. For the first time in decades, Porsche had a sales hit that wasn't a 911. Money began flowing in. The company stabilized. But Wiedeking had an even bigger plan. One that seemed insane to Porsche purists. He wanted to build an SUV. V, the controversial giant. The Porsche Cayenne 2002. When Porsche announced the Cayenne SUV, fans were furious. A Porsche must be a sports car. A Porsche SUV destroys the brand. But the leadership saw what critics didn't. The luxury SUV market, was exploding. The Cayenne launched in 2002 and became the most successful vehicle in Porsche's history. It saved the company. It funded innovation. It allowed Porsche to remain independent. This single model transformed Porsche from a niche sports car maker into a global powerhouse. And they didn't stop there. V. The modern era. Speed, luxury, and electric dreams. 2010s to 2020s. The 21st century saw Porsche produce some of its greatest machines. The modern era. Speed, luxury, and electric dreams. Carrera GT 2004, a V10 masterpiece with a mind-bending personality. Panamera 2009, a luxury sedan that handled like a sports car. 918 Spider 2013, a hybrid hypercar that broke Nürburgring records. GT3, RS, and GT2 RS models. The Taycan wasn't just an electric car. It was a message. Performance has no fuel type. Today, Porsche continues to develop synthetic fuels, advanced EVs, autonomous technology, and hybrid racing machines. But through it all, one thing remains untouched: the commitment to building cars that connect driver and machine in a way no other brand can. 8. Legacy. More than a company, a philosophy. When people talk about Porsche, they don't talk about features or specifications. They talk about feelings. The feeling of turning a corner and sensing the car rotate around you. The feeling of hearing a flat six roar behind your spine. The feeling of being part of something engineered with obsession. Porsche's story is more than business success. It is proof that passion can survive war, crisis, bankruptcy, and changing worlds. From Ferdinand Porsche's workshop to Ferry's Alpine sawmill, to global racing dominance, to near financial ruin, to rising again through innovation, to shaping the future of electric performance, Porsche stands as a symbol of relentless pursuit, of refusing to compromise, refusing to surrender, and refusing to let tradition fade. It is not just a car manufacturer. It is a legacy built on ambition, courage, and engineering artistry.